my name is Vicky Benzing. I fly a race plane called Lucky Girl. I have been flying at the Reno Air Races this will be my 11th year. I started flying at Reno in 2010, and I flew a Gouthro 3 in sport class for a number of years, I think. And then I purchased Lucky Girl, and then I've flown Lucky Girl 14 through 19, and then of course we didn't fly in 20, and I'll be flying her again this year. And I've also raced in jet class. I started racing in jet class in 2012 or 2013. So I have about 14 years of experience of racing now.
Is that hard to transition between both classes?
I would say not. I mean, it's actually a benefit because you're already on the race course. You know the race course conditions. You know the winds and how bumpy it is out there. And I am the fastest woman ever in air races. Mm-hmm. I set that record in 2015, 469.831 miles an hour. So after I retired from working in the semiconductor industry, I started flying air shows. I started young. I think I have more flight hours than I have hours driving a car. And my uncle was also an air show and an air race pilot. He participated in the Reno Air Races back in, I think, 66, 67. He flew in the biplane class. He took me flying when I was a kid. And I was so young the first time I went up. I think I sat on my dad's lap, and I remember I actually really remember that flight so many years ago, and I couldn't figure out if those were toy cars and toy houses or if they were real cars and real houses, because I was too young to really understand. And I never really thought that was something that I was going to be able to do until one of my buddies when I was in graduate school asked me if I wanted to go skydiving, and I went skydiving, and I fell in love with skydiving, and I was around airplanes all the time, and so I started bugging my parents about, hey, I really want to learn how to fly. And well, when I first started flying almost 40 years ago, you'd rarely hear a woman's voice on the radio. It was very unusual. Mm-hmm. But now there are a lot of women pilots. I mean, not as many as men, but there are more women pilots, and women are more accepted as pilots.
Good.
In the races, there's a fair amount of ego among the men, and they really like racing with you. You know, would women bring? I mean, how boring it would be to be among all men, right? One of my really good friends. He invited me one year. He sent me an email. He said, "Come play in my sandbox." So he knew I was an air show pilot, and so I thought it just never really occurred to me to go race at Reno. But he was one of the founders of sport class, and he kind of lured me into going to pilot racing seminar, and I had so much fun. I had so much fun hanging out with the guys and talking about engines and flying around the pylons and flying formation. So I have a very good sponsor. They're incredible. I love working with them. My sponsor is the California Aeronautical University. The university is located in Bakersfield, California, and they offer a 4-year degree that the kids do in 3 years because they go all year round. Mm-hmm. They have a beautiful campus. It has dormitories, classrooms, cafeteria, Olympic-sized swimming pool, gym, basketball courts, all that stuff. And the students do all of their flying ratings through CFII, Certified Flight Instructor Instrument, in the first 18 months of their college career. And then they teach the younger, then they get employed by the university as instructors to teach the younger students, and they get paid. So while they're finishing up their coursework during the second 18 months, they're getting paid and they're building time so that they can step out into a flying career when they graduate. I love working with the students. They're just great. And it's so fun to see young people motivated and doing well. And they have these advancement ceremonies every time they get a new rating, and I come down to attend, and the kids' families come out for it, and it's really cool to see how proud the parents are, and so it's a wonderful opportunity to work with those guys.
If there was one thing you could tell your younger self about this experience, what would it be?
The races have been around for 50 years, so it would have been nice to start when I was younger. Yeah. Sometimes we don't know we can do something until we do it, right? And I think that's why it's so important, especially for women, to have role models, because you see other women do it and you go, oh, I can do that too, right?